Hi, everyone. So this is I think my third time doing this video going live because I'm just learning all the technical stuff with YouTube and Facebook. So you'll probably get this on Facebook as a recorded thing. So I'm just experimenting. But I wanted to start today with just reading a poem to you before we get going from House of Light by Mary Oliver to center all of us. So let's take a moment, close our eyes, connect to our breath. And just clear your mind. So this poem is called The Buddha's Last Instruction. Make of yourself a light, said the Buddha before he died. I think of this every morning as the east begins to tear off its many clouds of darkness, to send up the first signal, a white fan, streaked with pink and violet, even green. An old man, he lay down in between two sala trees, and he might have said anything, knowing it was his final hour. The light burns upward, it thickens and settles over the fields. Around him, the villagers gathered and stretched forward to listen. Even before the sun itself hangs detached in the blue air, I am touched everywhere by its ocean of yellow waves. No doubt he thought of everything that had happened in his difficult life. And then I feel the sun itself as it blazes over the hills, like a million flowers on fire. Clearly, I am not needed, yet I feel myself turning into something of inexplicable value. Slowly, beneath the branches, he raised his head. He looked into the faces of that frightened crowd. Make yourself a light. What a nice way to start our morning, our day. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, we're going to get into self-sabotage and our inner rebel, right? But I wanted to talk a little bit about why I started this group, Nourish. I'm finding I'm becoming unwell in the wellness industry, and I'm looking for, I'm just exploring and reconnecting to myself during all of this whole pandemic. And I thought a lot of people needed practices to nourish their spirits and really do some inward work and some tools. So I wanted to bring this group together so that we could all connect on that and talk about it and talk about what nourishes our spirits and what's getting in the way, what obstacles get in the way of us nourishing ourselves. And so that's why there's the topic of self-sabotage or inner rebel, right? I prefer the term inner rebel because I think I want to know what does your inner rebel look like? What does he or she look like, right? I know my inner rebel is kind of a badass, right? I intentionally feel when I want to sabotage myself from doing healing work for myself or doing things that are good for myself. I do it intentionally. So one of my ways, I don't know about you, I'd be really curious to hear what your sabotager looks like, or your inner rebel looks like. But for me, my inner rebel, it's a she. She's a badass, and she she likes to numb out a lot. So she'll do things to numb out. My form of numbing out would be like anything like entertainment or books or getting absorbed in things that aren't really um, helping me heal, or distractions, a lot of distracting myself. Really good at that. And also, I'm really good at negative self-talk. So that's another way that I tend to sabotage myself, is negative self-talk. And I know a lot of you can relate to that, because I think a lot of us do that. So yeah, I would just really be curious. What is your inner rebel? What does she do? And I think I've been doing a lot of work on this, but I think that when you sabotage yourself, or that inner rebel doesn't feel worthy for whatever reason. There's a lack of worthiness, I think, there. I mean, there could be other things, and I'm not a psychologist. These are just my musings. But for me, I know it's definitely true. Like, I don't feel worthy of it. So really embracing that and really exploring that and diving a little deeper into that. Like, how can I feel more worthy? Why am I sabotaging myself? Like, really asking, like a little kid, like, why, right? So those are some of the things that I think about. And also intentionality, like, is come up a lot for me. So when I am more intentional with my day and intentional with, I have things that are going on, so I'm really specific and intentional, I have a way better day, right? A way better experience, because I'm really in the moment. So a lot of that goes back to meditation and really feeling your feelings, right? And not numbing out. And was another thing, like, I think the sabotager too, it's like, instead of like facing it, feeling that you're sabotaging, and that's okay. Like, being okay with sabotaging yourself, but knowing that you're doing it too. Like, sometimes we just need, it's a part of the healing process, I think, is to sabotage ourselves. We gotta find, every day is different. So anyway, those are just some of my musings. But I really, the two things that stick with me are intentionality and feeling worthy, like finding my worthiness and feeling worthy. And finally, I would just like to ask, like, what nourishes you? Like, what is going to nourish you today? What are you doing to nourish yourself? What are you doing and I think what nourishes you, that question, it combines intentionality, and it really combines the worthiness. So finding that within your day. So thinking about what nourishes you on all levels. And so I hope you have a good rest of the day. I just wanted to pop in and say that. And Facebook Live just doesn't like me. So I'm doing this on YouTube, so it'll probably be recorded, but figured I'd see what it's like to go live on YouTube. All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. I'd love to hear your comments. Have a good one. Bye.